So we turn our attention to your personal finances. Joining me once again is Dr. Roger Givolb, who is a financial entrepreneur and founder of the Campaign for Fair Finance. Roger, good morning.
Good morning, James.
Thank you very much indeed for joining us once again here on Talk Radio. Let's talk about the end of a dream. Apparently, this month is the end of furlough. It is, well, it's certainly been a dream for some people, but for others, it's going to be a very hard reality, isn't it?
Yes, unfortunately, the furlough began in March of 2020. It was meant for 3 months. The government, this government extended it for another 18 months, has poured about 70 billion pounds into it. It's been an absolute lifesaver. It has prevented, quote, a catastrophic set of occurrences. And now it all ends this September. It's going to hit at least 1 million people. And they estimate that there will be hundreds of thousands of workers that will not be having an easy time of finding work again.
Should we be that concerned on the basis that if you speak to any restaurant, any pub, any hospitality business, any transport business, we've got shortages left, right, and centre. Now, it does mean that we've possibly got people with the wrong skills in the wrong jobs, but there are plenty of jobs out there, aren't there?
Absolutely. I mean, this craziness that we're finding out there. I mean, I drove past at least 3. Am I allowed to mention? Well, a very well-known fast food chain yesterday. 3 of the stores were closed.
It depends which one. I mean, has it got golden arches? Has it got Has it got the Colonel that side? Who's it got?
Let's just say they're ready to serve you some food. And I
want to know who they are now.
Pret-a-Manger, 3 stores were closed.
Ready to serve you. Oh, I see where you went there, Pret-a-Manger. What, their stores were shut?
They were shut, unfortunately, and there was a sign that said in one of them, due to electrical problems. And we kept pulling up to petrol stations and said, oh, great, look, we get in the queue. And then all of a sudden you see a barrier. So, yeah, all of that couldn't come at a more opportune time. You're absolutely right. But you're also, extremely right in that there's a tremendous mismatch because to be a lorry driver, you need a little piece of paper that probably isn't that easy to get. One can only hope that these folks can retrain quickly.
Well, let's hope so. Now, let's talk about this petrol crisis before. People are sort of panic buying like never before. And it's the ultimate in economics, isn't it? Which is supply and demand. You have a supply chain that has a little bit of tolerance on the basis that everybody knows or should know that when it comes to a supermarket, they know how much stuff is bought and sold every day. When it comes to a petrol station and the petrol supply, they know how much stuff is bought every day because it turns into an average and there are little peaks and troughs and the system is designed to deal with that. What the system can't deal with it is a tolerance of, it's basically 10%. It's the rule of 10%. If anything goes up in demand or falls in demand by 10% or more, you're going to see either a price change or a supply problem.
Yes, and I think it's more complex in this position, and there's an awful lot of politicizing going on. I'm reminded of the song, and I just want to, sing and yell, can we pump up the volume, please? Because what are all these politicians sitting around gassing about? The transport minister,
because they're politicians.
The transport, that's what they get paid to do, James. You're right.
Yeah.
The transport minister yesterday, quote, refused to rule out bringing in the army. The prime minister, quote, expected to make a decision on the army. The loyal opposition contributed, quote, scum, and, quote, Sunak is missing in action. I mean, why are they all sitting around talking about all this stuff?
Because it's conference season and they don't do anything. And they're more interested in their conference and their own personal egos than they are about sorting out problems in the country. Anyway, let's talk very quickly about the poor voter, because there we are, talking of hot air. My God, the roof's going to blow off at the Brighton Conference Centre. There's so much hot air in that conference party. I mean, unbelievable what's going on. Meanwhile, there's a whole load of discussion about tax, and they seem to be spending money. They make Rishi Sunak look as if he's tight on the finances.
Well, I think there's actually 2 conferences going on to listen to it, because, on the one, the leader says that there will be tax rises, and yet his relatively newly appointed shadow chancellor says that there won't be. She did say nothing's off the table, but I mean, they're in complete opposition with each other. And I actually played it back a few times, and it sounded like an episode of Yes Minister, the language they both used around this. And one just hopes that the position is clarified before the election, because, boy, pity the poor voter.
Oh, we listen. We all know that tax is going to rise in some shape or form, regardless of which party's in. And it's very easy, Roger, to spend other people's money. That's what I've worked out in my life. Very easy to do it, and they are having an absolute ball. Our politicians having a right old time there. Anyway, there we are. We're out of time, but thank you so much for joining me once again this morning. That is Dr. Roger Kvolb, who is a financial entrepreneur and founder of the Campaign for Fair Finance. Thank you so much for your input and thoughts on the personal finance stories